Welcome to my first ever world in Hytale. We're gonna call it Chillingham. Thanks for joining. I know it's been a long time since I posted. I appreciate everybody who's here right now. We're gonna change the inventory penalty on death to drop all. I want to make this as hard as possible on myself. Exploration mode, of course. And we spawn in, and first thing we do is grab a candle and some mushrooms. And then we open up the doors from our spawn, and oh my goodness, how beautiful is this, guys? It's so much more vibrant than Minecraft. I really just love the way this game looks. But here, early on day one, we collect some flowers, we take a look around, and we really just kind of enjoy being in this brand new game. Comment below how long you guys have been waiting for this game to release and what your thoughts are on Hytale so far. For me, you know, after this first video I've made here, I must say that I've really enjoyed my time with Hytale, and I'm really excited to see where it goes and all the mods that are being made and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be really cool, and I'm really excited about it. So we continue grabbing as much material as we can on day one. You can destroy bushes for plant matter and sticks, and of course there's some berries mixed in here too. I then spot some skeletons through the trees, but I'm definitely not ready to take them on. I don't even have a sword yet. And I wanted to show off this cape. You do get it for pre-ordering the game during early access and playing during early access, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Of course, this game has a map, unlike Minecraft, which, I mean, the comparisons are gonna happen. I'm gonna try and avoid them, but I mean, at the end of the day, they're two block games, but the map is really cool. And after that, we fashion ourselves our first set of tools, so we make a sword, a hatchet, and a pickaxe. I also put the candle in my offhand. In this game, when you have torches or candles or anything like that in your offhand, it actually provides you light at night in the dark caves, which is really cool. And of course, the trees break as soon as you break one of the logs and disconnect them, so that makes it really convenient. Definitely a nice feature. I also love the sound it makes when the trees fall. It's so satisfying. And then the little bubble popping noises when all the items, all the logs get popped in your inventory. Yeah, just super satisfying. I grabbed some mushrooms as well. And now that we have a sword, it's time to take on one of these skeletons and see how the combat in this game works. So I take a couple hits, not really knowing what I'm doing, and then I realize you can block, which is awesome. I'm parrying them a couple times and then finish taking them out, so yeah, I really enjoy the ability to block like that. I also figure out that there's a charged attack, which I use to hit him there. I try using it a couple more times, but I'm not holding it down long enough, and I was taking some damage, but first two skeletons. We'll get better as the game progresses here. I then find my first bit of copper underwater. And underwater, everything still looks just so vibrant in this game. I missed a piece there that I didn't notice until I was rewatching the footage. But shortly after, I find a fox, which just runs away from me. And then I get to work taking down some more trees, as we're gonna need a lot of wood. You know, if there's one thing Minecraft has taught me, and I know this game's not Minecraft, but let's be honest, any survival game, you're gonna need a lot of wood. So that is why I keep chopping down trees, and also just because it's so satisfying to do. I also want to say thank you to any of you guys who are returning viewers and have watched any of my Minecraft or other videos in the past. It's been about, I don't know, 7-8 months since I last posted a video, if not longer, so the fact that you're here just means a lot, and I plan on making this series a long one and continuing it, so I should be back for good here, not just temporarily, so I appreciate all of you guys. After that, I stumble across a bear. I definitely am not ready to take on a bear yet. I don't even need to try to know that much, so yeah, I just run away. But this thing is pretty fast. It's staying right on my tail here, and it follows you for quite a while. Eventually, I get far enough away and he turns back. After that, I decide to grab some marble. The marble in this game looks really good, and it works as any other stone, so you can use it to craft any recipe that requires stone. So yeah, grab up a bunch of it. After that, I place down a builder's workbench, as well as a standard workbench. In the builder's workbench, you can turn building blocks into a bunch of different variations of other building blocks. So you can turn, for example, the marble into different types of marble, or pillars, or stairs, or slabs, or roofs, or fences, ladders, you name it. It's pretty much an option. And then, of course, the workbench, you can make things like chests, basic tools, basic weapons, as well as other workbenches. I then placed down some chests, as at this point I have too many items to carry. I accidentally placed down the candle there as well. And then I go out hunting. So I find these lobsters roaming around. There is an ocean on the other side of this hill. They're not just roaming, grass plains. That would be a little bit strange, but yeah, I take down one and see what it drops, and it drops raw fish, so I imagine we're going to be able to cook that up and use it as food in the future. Still getting used to the combat here, as you can see, a little bit all over the place. I made myself a set of daggers, which I really enjoyed using. And while I was adventuring, I realized you could actually climb up 4 blocks and kind of vault yourself over that 4th block. So I made this kind of dirt pillar to test it out and have some fun with it. And yeah, as you can see, you can climb very high very quickly using this. And as nighttime approaches, I place down a campfire and start cooking some of that raw fish. Next up, I place down a furnace, followed by a furniture workbench and a farmer's workbench. The furniture workbench is awesome. It lets you create custom beds, custom chests, a bunch of different lighting options, so many decorations. It's definitely something we're going to be using a lot of. I ended up making some Quebec candles and placing some around our little shanty town here. And then I decide to venture into a cave for the very first time. As you can see, having the torch in your offhand lights up everything around you. It's so cool. I absolutely love the lighting in this game. It's one of the things I think this game does much better than Minecraft. I also really like how the ores stick out of the block itself. Just kind of gives it a little bit more of a 3D texture. I really enjoy the way it looks. You can see the copper poking out of the stone there. And I really like the animation for breaking blocks as well. Just very satisfying overall, and I didn't think that Minecraft could be improved on in that regard, but honestly, I think Hytale has done it. I destroy some mushrooms around the area, and they drop boom powder. Pretty cool to see those glowing mushrooms light up caves as well. And shortly after that, I find some iron. First iron of the game, which is awesome. And I got rudely interrupted by this goblin, so obviously I had to take care of him. He went down pretty easy, and as you can see, I'm getting a little bit better with these daggers. The charged attack on the daggers is really cool. You jump forward, and if you successfully hit the enemy, you kind of bounce off of them, as you can see there. So yeah, it was pretty cool using these daggers. They were definitely my favorite weapon in the game. But yeah, back to mining some more iron. Shortly after, I found this cool part of the cave that was glowing green from a green mushroom. It also had moss hanging from the ceiling, which I collected a little bit of. And then I head back up to surface and start smelting down my ores. But quickly realize I'm not going to have enough to really do anything substantial, so back into the mines I go. It's kind of nice not having to place torches everywhere as well. Just having the torch in your offhand helps. These parts might be, the bad part about the daggers is they are two-handed weapons, so I can't have a torch out at the same time as the dagger. That's why I switched to the sword during this part. But yeah, let me know how the brightness settings are and if I should improve them. I know YouTube likes to make things a little bit darker on their end, so yeah, just keep me posted in the comments section and I'll try and adjust for it in the future. But after much more mining, now we have loads and loads of both copper and iron, as you can see, over 25 of each just from that mining run alone. And we also get cooking up some wild meat from all the rats and everything else that we killed down in those caves. Unlike Minecraft, skeletons and spiders, they can spawn during the day, and they're aggressive during the day. even, you know, just out in an open field, no shade or anything. So, yeah, we take a couple skeletons out here. I just love that charged attack on the daggers. Then we go kill a lobster. We find our very first wolf of the game. And a second one. This guy did some pretty good damage to me. The wolves are definitely stronger than the ones in Minecraft, that is for sure. And there you saw I used a special ability, so if you attack something enough, you will charge up your weapon to the point that you can use your Q ability. So you tap Q and you get a special ability and it does extra damage. After that, I place down a tanning rack and start processing some of my hide. The light hide is a huge deal in this game. It was a struggle for me to find enough of it this whole playthrough, so anytime you guys see a creature that drops light hide, I highly recommend you kill it. Unfortunately, these birds do not. I was hoping they would, but they only drop the dark feathers as well as some meat. I then had 2 arrows left, so I try and take out this duck. I hit both my shots, but unfortunately I run out of arrows and he still has a sliver of health left. I then chase down this defenseless mouse and kill it for the sport. And right beside the mouse, I kind of stumble upon this little dungeon type thing with some skulls and remains down there, as well as some copper, a glowing mushroom, a little barrel that did not have anything inside of it, and just a small little stool. So not too much down here, but I mean, I will definitely take the copper and the moss, why not? And we are still using the basic pickaxe. I haven't made a iron or copper pickaxe yet, so it is pretty slow, but we'll get there soon, don't worry. I then find a crab. Wanted to see if it dropped anything different than the lobsters, but just raw fish still. Took out another skeleton. There you see I unlocked that special ability I was talking about before. The skeletons in this game will drop linen and bones, by the way. And then yeah, I'm wandering around and I notice a green spot glowing in a mountain beside me, so I decided to go check it out, and yeah, I was able to mine it and it was emerald. It also dropped green crystal shards, which I'm not sure what are used for yet, but I'm sure I'll be finding out shortly. Then after that I stumbled upon a bear, decided to see if, you know, with the daggers I would be able to take it out. Got some hits in, but it did way too much damage and made me scared. I didn't really want to die at this point, so eventually I just run away. And the combat in this game is just way too much fun and way more engaging than other block-like games, I'll say. So every time I saw some skeletons or any mob, I could not resist the urge to slice them up. Unfortunately, that got me into trouble here. I tried to run away, and unfortunately mistimed my charge attack, and first death of the game. And like you guys saw at the very beginning, I set my inventory to drop all of my items upon death, so I don't have anything when I spawn back in here. But it wasn't too hard to come back to my base camp and get all my stuff back. And filled with vengeance, I had to go hunt down some more skeletons. One didn't satisfy me, so I went and found a second one to take out. And by this point, I just developed a taste for killing the skeletons, so I found a third one and took him out as well. And of course, a fourth one too. I also really like how they carry torches. It just, the lighting again in this game, it's so cool. It just adds so much to the visuals, and just, I don't know. I really like it. Let me know what you guys think. I then found a new creature. This was called a void crawler. He was pretty tough actually, took quite a few hits to take down, but we were able to finish the job. And he dropped something I hadn't seen yet, called Essence of the Void. I then found this huge dude with a massive green sword. I was pretty worried, but honestly, he was pretty easy to kind of read, and using the charged attack with the daggers, I was able to keep hitting him and just kind of bouncing off of him, and yeah, ended up being not too bad. I was a little bit worried at how tanky he was at first, but didn't end up being a problem. There you can see I used my special ability, and again, he dropped the Essence of the Void as well. This time he dropped 6 compared to the Void Crawler only dropping 2. I then found a sleeping bear and decided now is the time to get my first kill of a bear in the game. The previous attempts obviously didn't go well, so hopefully third time is the charm. And I used the same kind of strategy, just using the charged attack until I unlock my ultimate, and using the ultimate I was able to take him down. He dropped heavy hide as well as a couple pieces of meat. I then took out this rabbit. Like I was mentioning before, it's super hard to get light hide in this game. You need a lot of it, and not too many mobs drop it. So rabbit is one of the ones that does. I was really hoping these wild boars would drop light hide as well, but unfortunately they drop medium hide. I then find some pigs. Take them out, and they do drop light hide, which is awesome. After that, I found this huge dude. I don't know what it's called, maybe a yak or something like that. I'm not sure what it is, but we end up taking him out. But he was in the middle of some poison ivy bushes or something, because I almost died and kept getting poisoned. He wasn't attacking me himself. I believe it was the bushes that were damaging me there. But yeah, shortly after I found some pumpkins. Took out the squirrel, again hoping for some light hide, but he didn't drop any. And then I killed some deer. The deer are really fast, so you just gotta kind of hope that they get stuck in water or next to a tree like this one. But luckily they do drop light hide, so... I failed my ultimate there on the deer, and this skeleton decided to jump in, so we had to teach him a lesson. Took out the fox. Unfortunately, the fox also does not drop light hide. Found another deer. Chased them into some water, and yeah, the best way to deal with these deer is to chase them into water, because they kind of just get stuck when they get into some water. But yeah, we just keep rounding up as much light hide as we can, as we need a lot for things like armor and tools and weapons. Then I took out my first spider of the game and followed that up by taking out a wolf. Unfortunately, the wolves also drop medium hide. But that's okay, because right after we found a rabbit, which of course does drop that light hide that we're after, as well as a pig. I feel bad killing these pigs. They're so tiny in this game, but I need their light hide, man. What can I say? And yeah, we just continue collecting as much light hide as we can. Any of you guys who have played to this point in the game, you guys know my struggle when it comes to the light hide. Let me know if you think they need to add more mobs that drop it, or require less in the recipes that use it, because yeah, it's a grind. But we anger 2 wolves and put myself into a bit of a predicament here. And unfortunately, I die for the second time. Again, though, it was right beside my base camp, so it was pretty easy to get back and get all my stuff. I then placed down an armor's workbench as well as a blacksmith's anvil. These are going to be used to create armor and weapons. So I create a iron helmet as well as an iron chest piece, but look how much light leather it requires. It requires 7 light leather for the chest piece. So back to collecting more light hide so we can process it into light leather. I then find the first snake of the game. It drops a venom sac, just like the spiders. Grab some more light leather from this rabbit. A little bit more from this pig. I then accidentally kill a baby sheep, but I was just trying to get the pig for its light leather. And kill another pig. I then ran into my first group of horses, so I hopped on one, and you don't need to tame it, you don't need a saddle, you can just hop on and immediately you can start riding the horse, so that was pretty cool. So I ride him all the way back home. And once we get back, I hop off the horse, but unfortunately he just runs away as soon as I get off of him, so yeah, you are definitely going to want to build a pen or something to keep them. But then, yeah, I found 2 void crawlers right next to each other. Got stuck in a tree and panicked a little bit, but managed to use my ultimate ability and take out both of them. Got a couple more Essence of the Void. And then we found another one of these giant dudes with the green sword. I'm not sure what their actual official name is, but we take them out. And after that, I make my first iron pickaxe of the game. And obviously we have to go test it out in the mines. Look how much faster it gets the copper. Just 2 hits now. Even the iron is now much easier to grab. Another thing I like is the early level ores, the copper, the iron, that sort of stuff. It seems really easy to find in caves. Even this is like a pretty good ore. This is thorium. It's going to be one after iron in terms of tier. And yeah, even this I'm finding in a normal cave not far from where I spawned in. So it is pretty easy to find the lower level ores in this game, which is nice. I then found this cave that goes all the way down to this like red, hellish looking place down below, but there's a bunch of mobs and I had a bunch of stuff on me, as you can see, over 25 copper, over 25 iron, so I ran away. I didn't want to have to deal with it, but unfortunately I reached a dead end and a couple of the mobs had followed me all the way up here, so yeah, I missed my charged attack on this goblin the first time, but was able to take him out with a couple more hits, and then this little glowing orb thing, I was able to take it out as well. And back at the surface, I store all of my goods from the mining operation. And then I make some repair kits. With the repair kits, you can repair anything from your armor to your tools to your weapons. So I decide to use it on my iron pickaxe. Now the only thing to keep in mind with these repair kits is they actually cause your item to lose durability. So when I first made my iron pickaxe, it had 250 durability. But now that I've used a repair kit on it, it's lost 10% of that, so now it only has 225 durability. But yeah, I found these ruins shortly after, decided to knock this skeleton archer right off the side and loot the chest. Nothing too crazy in here, but we'll take it, it's free. And then I was getting so desperate for light hide that I decided to take out some horses in hopes that they would drop it. But unfortunately, they dropped medium hide. The good news is once I start needing medium hide, I'm going to have a lot of it. Even heavy hide I have quite a bit of already. It's just the light hide that I keep going through too fast. But we take out a spider here, grab its venom sac, and follow it up by taking out its skeleton buddy. As you can see, I've upgraded my daggers to iron by this point as well. And then we jump back in the mines and grab some more iron. Use the vaulting mechanic to reach the higher up ores. Again, super nice, makes it super easy when you're mining. Took out a rat. These rats actually drop light hide. It is a good source of it, so that made things a little bit easier once I realized that, but it was still a grind to get that light hide. Grab some copper, a little bit more copper. And then in Minecraft, I'm used to holding shift down to peek over an edge, so that's what I do here. But I forgot that the crouch button in this game is control, not shift, and I fell all the way down to my death. This one sucked. I had some decent stuff on me, including all of my armor and all of my new iron gear I had just made. But I make a makeshift staircase all the way down so I can retrieve my items. And yeah, as you can see, the deeper you dig, the scarier it gets and the crazier the mobs you find. It's pretty brutal down here at this depth. You'll see as I grab my items here, I turn around and there's this floating skull that launches a fireball at me. It almost kills me in like 1 or 2 hits. So I panic and jump up my staircase as fast as I can, manage to get myself stuck, but I figure it out, and I was able to escape, thank goodness. So we get to the top of my makeshift little staircase, heal up, and get back to the surface. At this point, we had a lot of items we had started to gather up, so I needed to expand my chest, my storage area. And after that was done, I got to work clearing out an area around my base camp. A nice big flat area that I would use to build my starter base. Unlike Minecraft, pickaxes are actually pretty efficient when it comes to digging dirt. It only took me 2 hits, which is the same as it takes for stone when using an iron pickaxe. So yeah, Yeah, as you can see, the marble, or I guess this is chalk. The chalk here only took 2 hits as well. So yeah, dirt is just as fast as mining stone with a pickaxe in this game. And then for the first time, I finally placed down a bed. And got back to work clearing out more land. After clearing out a bunch of land, I did realize that grass was not spreading onto the dirt. So in this game, there is no spreading of grass, at least not yet. So if you want all of the dirt spots to turn into grass, you're going to have to manually place grass blocks in each one of those spots. But yeah, after clearing out a bunch of land, I ended the night by going to bed for the very first time. And I woke up the next morning and immediately got back to work clearing some land. After that, I decided to mark out the perimeter of where my starter base is going to be. I used these decorative stone bricks that I made from the builder's workbench as the main block for my starting base. And I know it's a little bit small. Usually, you know, I would build something at least a little bit bigger for a starter base. This is absolutely tiny. Yeah, I apologize for not doing something a little bit bigger for my first starter base here, but, you know, down the road we'll definitely build some proper bases. Alright, and after that, you can kind of see the area I've marked out for that starting base. But unfortunately, I do not have near enough materials to get working on the base itself, so down into the mines I go. I am going to need a lot of stone for this base, so I just started kind of making a little bit of a stone quarry down below ground. It was an offshoot from the cave that was right beside my base. So yeah, I just, you know, dug out this very long corridor and just used it to get as much stone as I could possibly need. And you'll see, we make many visits down here. I need way more stone than I ever thought I would, so you're gonna see how big this quarry, this corridor gets by the end of the episode, and yeah, you guys are gonna be surprised. But even just after the first little mining expedition, you can see I dug a pretty good ways down. I then convert all of that stone into the decorative stone bricks. And it wasn't nearly enough, so back into the corridor we go to grab even more stone. I then stumbled across this cave with some green glowing mushrooms down below as I was digging out this corridor. There was also a bat that had spawned in, as well as this silverfish looking thing. Took him out with one hit. And back to grabbing even more stone. And I got interrupted rudely by another one of these little guys, so took him out really quickly, grabbed his meat, and kept going. Then I took out this rat. I really loved it when these guys would spawn down here because they drop light hide. So yeah, they can spawn down there as much as they want. It's definitely appreciated. Yeah, and then at that point I had enough stone to at least get started. And as you can see, we start filling in the walls of our pyramid. If you hadn't guessed it by the thumbnail, that is what I built here as my starter base, is a small little tiny pyramid. Alright, I might be joking a little bit. It's not super small. But hey, you know, it's my first ever world in Hytale. I wanted to have an impressive starting base, so I had to go big or go home, and I definitely went big with this one. And that's what we have so far. So everything's looking really good, but I was getting a little bit bored, so I decided to go engage with some of the combat in Hytale and take out a couple more wolves. That one was a little close for comfort. I was just kind of having a little bit of fun. I wasn't being as efficient as I could have killing them, but yeah. But the fun was over. Back into the mines we go, and yeah, the amount of stone I needed was insane. So to break things up a little bit, after mining, I decided to go visit my neighbors, which happened to be a Trork camp, and they weren't very friendly when I went to bring them a pie to say hello, so Yeah, unfortunately we ended up having to fight them. This guy spawned in some wolves as soon as I attacked him. But luckily with these iron daggers I was able to take them out pretty efficiently actually. And once we got inside, I broke down a bunch of crates, grabbing whatever loot I could. Honestly, not too much loot. I got like an apple and a couple little berries, but that was pretty much it. I then looted this chest. Took out another Trork. Grabbed some more berries from that crate there. And yeah, it's pretty cool how cool these automatically generated structures are. Like this camp, I mean, it looked really good. And that was the same as pretty much any of the structures in this game. They did a really good job with these pre-built structures. It looks really good. I climbed all the way to the top of the lookout tower expecting to find a chest or maybe an enemy, but unfortunately there was just a campfire. So I grabbed that and then returned back to my base. And once there, I went immediately into the mines as, again, I just need so much stone for this build. And I know I haven't been showing it, but I've gone through a lot of iron picks and a lot of repair kits already, just repairing my iron picks. And once their durability got to about 175 or 150, I would just store it and make a new iron pick. But yeah, eventually got enough stone to get all the way up to this level here where I decided to make a little lookout. At this point, the block placing got a little laggy. I'm not sure what the issue was. Maybe just because I'd placed so many blocks so quickly. Yeah, I'm not really sure what caused it, but it would just kind of come in and out, but once I relogged, it seemed to fix the problem. But anyways, after relogging and getting that problem fixed and finishing the little lookout area, that's what it looked like. I put some benches down as well as those Quebec candles in between the benches, and I think it looks really sharp. I then found these mushrooms, which once I got on top of, they just kept launching me into the air, super bouncy, almost like a slime block from Minecraft. So of course I had to collect some of these. I then climbed all the way to the top of a mountain to get a view of our pyramid from up above. And I tested out to see if you could do like the MLG water bucket from Minecraft, but with these mushroom blocks, and it looked like you could, so I decided to really go for it. And I immediately regretted it. But it's okay, I got my stuff back pretty easily. And then I needed some wood to complete the interior of our pyramid base. So I got to work collecting a bunch of wood here, as you can see. And it's crazy how many logs you get from one tree. Some of them you get over 150 logs. And I'm pretty sure there's trees that drop even more in the later areas of the game. So in future episodes, hopefully we'll be seeing that too. But yeah, even these trees around the starting area and the Emerald Grove part, I mean, they can drop 150 plus logs. It's absolutely awesome. And as I was chopping down trees, I stumbled across this sapphire. So I grabbed that, as well as some blue crystal shards that it dropped. And then I got to work placing floors inside of our pyramid. I wanted to build on this level the whole time, but couldn't figure out how. You have to press R to rotate. So then once I realized I could place on the level I really wanted to, I had to go back and destroy all these planks that were placed at the wrong level. But we got that figured out, and then we kept building our floor. At this point, I realized maybe I made this thing a little bit too big. It was becoming quite the project, but like I said, go big or go home. It's our first ever starter base in Hytale. We had to make sure it was going to be impressive. And as you can see, there were quite a few of misplaces that happened, but that's alright. Pretty easy to take them out. And yeah, that was pretty much it for the floor. Just had the one little area where my workbenches and chests were to finish up. So I started moving all of my workbenches and chests over to another side of the pyramid. Accidentally misplaced the farmer's workbench at the end here, so quickly took it down. And I was very glad that when you destroyed a workbench, it actually dropped the full bench. I was worried it was just going to drop the materials, so that was nice as well. Then yeah, once all that stuff was moved and I broke down the last misplaced block, we had an entire floor complete inside of our pyramid. The little gap over there is just an entrance to the cave, but other than that, everything is complete in here. But at this point, I wanted to do some more work with stone on the interior, and of course I had run out of stone, so back into the stone corridor we go, and as you can see, it's gotten absolutely massive at this point. I then decided to go visit the Forgotten Temple. I hadn't been here yet, and it had been catching my eye. The blue flame does not burn you, apparently. Found that out, so that is cool. And grabbed some mushrooms, as well as some glowing blue mushrooms. Picked up an apple that turned red as soon as I picked it up. Became ripe real quick. Grabbed a bucket, and then there was a staircase that I ventured down. Grabbed some mushrooms on the way down the staircase, and down here there was, it was a really cool looking temple. There was blue glowing mushrooms. There was this big troll looking thing guarding a portal. It was really cool to see, but I wanted to see if this thing was alive and what was going on with it. And yeah, once I hit it with an arrow, it was definitely alive, and it wasn't very happy either. So I bring out the daggers and hit him a couple times, and I accidentally bounced right into the portal. Did not mean to do that, so immediately go back so I can finish taking out this enemy here. So yeah, we come back through the portal, finish taking him out. He dropped some emeralds as well as some green crystal shards. I then loot the chest that was down here. Grab all of the items, found another chest down here, grabbed the items from that as well. Nothing too crazy in these chests, but again, it's free, so we'll take it. And then we go through the portal a second time, this time on purpose, and enter the Forgotten Temple. So yeah, it was, this place was really cool. I immediately noticed I couldn't take any of the flowers or destroy any of the blocks. But yeah, just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, again, the lighting in this game is so cool. Ran into this cute little guy. He was waving at me, which was awesome. I love how animated the mobs are in this game too. The animations are really cool. It just looks a lot more natural than other voxel-based games. Found this guy who was willing to trade us. Unfortunately, I didn't bring any of my Essence of Life, so I didn't have anything to trade with him. But yeah, there was some cool recipes you could get from him. And then I unlocked the memory feature. The memory feature allows you to collect memories every time you see a mob you've never seen before. Yeah, so I spent the next little while just looking at every single mob I could around the Forgotten Temple. Look at the ducks, look at the deers, the stags, the rabbits, anything I could get my hands on. And by the time I was done, I had 9 memories to record. And luckily that was enough to unlock the first threshold, which gave me 3 new decorative chests, as well as 2 eternal seeds that I'm going to be able to use in the future. I then headed back to the main world and, yeah, ventured back towards my base. But on the way back, of course, I had to collect every memory I could. And I tried to grab some meat and hide and bones and linen as well, so just basically took out everything I could find. And after taking out a couple sheep, one of those void crawlers tried to take me out, but he was no match for my iron daggers. Grabbed his void essence. Then collected the memory from a bear, as well as collected its hide. Found a spider and took him out, but not before he was able to get a poisonous bite on me, but it was all good. I had enough food and enough armor at this point that it wasn't too much of a scare. Unlike this thing definitely was a scare. One hit, over half of my health, almost 2/3 of my health, and this void eye was not going to be something I was ready to take out, so I ran away as fast as I could, and eventually I got back to home sweet home. And back to collecting more stone we go. And now that I had enough stone collected, I marked out the exact center of our pyramid. I then built a door aligned with the center of the pyramid and kept carving it out. Instead of just having the crappy little entrance we had before, now we actually have a proper entrance. And I then built a path towards the center of the pyramid, stemming from the entrance. Again, using stone bricks. I lined the path with some stone stairs, or I should say stone brick stairs. And then I worked on building a central staircase that would take us up to a second floor. And added some details into that central staircase. I then filled in the back and gave it a cool little design. Kind of experimenting with some vertical slabs, which was really cool. Definitely something that I would have loved to see in Minecraft a long time ago. After that, I decided to use some of these stone pillars to make it look like there was some structural integrity to this pyramid. And just to kind of fill in the interior a little bit, as it was looking a little bit empty. 1, 2, 3, place. 1, 2, 3, place. 1, 2, 3, place. One thing that I did notice is it was hard to kind of distinguish where one block ended and one started. Minecraft, I think, does a better job at that, which is why I was hitting the ground each time, so I knew exactly how far 3 blocks was. But yeah, as you can see, everything's looking really good with those stone pillars. I was really happy with the way it turned out, and I started to get to work on the second floor. I used a checkered pattern for the second floor of some different variants of the stone bricks. And I kept going along the edges, just adding in that checkered pattern. I was starting to regret making the floors a checkered pattern at this point. It was pretty tedious. But I had committed this far, we may as well see it through. But unfortunately, I ran out of stone, so guess what I did? I went down to that stone corridor that I have been mining out, and I got some more stone. Look how massive this place has gotten and how much stone I've used. I found a white spider here, which was a new one. I was able to take him out and grab his venom sac. Ate some food to heal up. And then back to placing the second floor of our pyramid. I wish you were able to have a torch in your second hand while you were placing blocks. Unfortunately, you are not when you have a block in your hand. I would like to see them make a change where you can still have a torch for lighting while you're placing blocks. I added in some more pillars just to make it look a little bit more structurally sound, as the roof was overhanging by quite a bit at this point. I really liked the way that these stone pillars kind of looked. And then after that, I decided to add railings in all along our second floor. The last thing we need to do is accidentally fall off the side. And yeah, overall, things are looking really good. I'm really happy with how things are turning out inside of this pyramid. The second floor is still pretty dark, so I fixed that with some lighting, but overall, yeah, just very happy with how it's looking. I then go and grab a couple buckets full of water, as I want to add some detailing to the outside of our base. So I make a little track where we're going to have water flowing down from the top of the pyramid all the way down to the bottom. After filling it in with some stairs, I drop the water in, and as you can see, it flows all the way down to the bottom. I wasn't sure if I would like the way this looks, but after going and getting a vantage point from a nearby hill, yeah, I really am happy with the way it turned out. I think it looks pretty sharp with the water flowing down the middle like that. Adds some much needed color. So I repeat the process on another side of the pyramid. And now that we have 2 sides done, I go for a vantage point that shows both sides to kind of see what it looks like now. And again, I'm really happy with the way it turns out. I think it definitely adds a little bit of needed detail and color and pop to the pyramid. Now for the front one, it was a little bit difficult because obviously I didn't want to block our entrance into the pyramid and I didn't want to have an off-center entrance. So I built this. Unfortunately, the water got stuck here. I was a little bit worried at this point because there were no infinite water sources and I only had 2 buckets and I didn't want to have to run to the ocean and place water down every time. But luckily, I found a way around it where I would place a bucket of water and pick it back up, but the stream would still stay there. So yeah, after some messing around, I was able to finish that front side where our entrance was. And again, I think it looks pretty good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So after that, I finished the 4th and final side, add the water feature in. And yeah, overall really happy with the way it turned out. Some fish spawned into our water feature here, which was absolutely hilarious in my opinion, but I'm not going to complain about a free source of food, so we'll take it. I then make a little nook where I store my farming workbench as well as a couple chests. You might be wondering why my farming workbench is here. It's because I plan on next episode doing a lot of farming, and I'm going to put the farms on the very first floor of this pyramid here. They're all going to be indoor and part of our base, so that's what we're going to be doing next episode, is a lot of farming and turning this first floor into a massive farm. As such, I moved all of my other chests and workbenches upstairs. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. As you can see, our starter base is pretty much completed, at least for the time being. I'm still going to do some work on the landscaping around it and that sort of stuff, but I can't wait for the next episode. I'll see you guys all there. We're going to explore the desert, I think. We're definitely going to do a lot of farming, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So again, thank you so much. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Cheers.